Ah, it's it's Wednesday. It's mystery unsolved video time, and today we will be talking about the ever notorious Bigfoot. Why Bigfoot? Why the hell not? Um, First things first, I don't look like a Bigfoot, so I don't know why I said that, but in case anyone was thinking it that watches this on playback or shows up. Um, so I don't have any notes with me because we're talking about Bigfoot. Why would I need one? Um, why would I need any? So, Bigfoot is probably one of the greatest mysteries we've ever had. For the last 40 years, people have claimed throughout various states and even countries, which I didn't mention over on Twitter, to have seen a big giant 8-foot hairy like ape slash man walking through the woods. And I mentioned this last week during the moon landing video, but when I mentioned, footage. If you want to convince me that Bigfoot exists, you need to show me more evidence other than the same freaking video from 1975. You know which one I'm talking about. You've probably seen it. It's the one where there's the woods and Bigfoot's walking this way. And it's just a man and he's just kind of like walking. And it's the same footage. And even if people have different footage, you always see that footage. It's like the people have their own footage, and they also have other people's footage, but they always make sure that out of all the other people's footage they have, it's always the one from 1975. But that's what started it all. I don't care. If you're realistically 100% trying to convince me that Bigfoot exists, you need to stop showing that footage. Just stop. I don't care if it's concrete. Because clearly it's not concrete, because if it was, we wouldn't still be talking about it, making videos, like I'm doing right now. Look at that, 2 minutes in, and I'm already getting into a heated argument with myself because no one's here talking about Bigfoot. Alright, I'm going to give you 5 theories as to whether or not... Alright, hypothetically, let's say for a second that Bigfoot in fact does exist. And I will be giving you five theories as to what Bigfoot is. But before I do that, what is Bigfoot? Why are people so fascinated with it? Why are people fascinated? I have no idea. Because apparently meeting an 8-foot giant hairy-like man in the woods isn't scary. It's not, apparently. But, what is, basically, over the last 40 years, people have been going into their woods. There's been Bigfoot sightings mainly in Oklahoma and Washington. I know those are the biggest two I always hear about. I've heard some in even Virginia. I've also heard some in North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Texas, Arizona. But basically it's always, I gotta stop saying basically all the time, Oklahoma and Washington. And even Canada. Although Canada, let's just not even go there. No offense, Canadians. Um, Also, I just bit my lip. Oh, ow, how did I do that? Ow, ow. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so it's usually always Washington and Oklahoma, although there's other various states in there. The other thing is, why is every single Bigfoot sighting always in the woods? Because it's a creature? Like, okay, but like, oh, that really hurts. Ow. Why is it always in the woods? Like, why? Because it's a giant creature, and that's just where it lives. But you mean to tell me that out of the last, again, I'm going to keep saying it, 40 years, since the 70s, since the first Bigfoot sighting, nobody has once filmed a Bigfoot video that's not only like good enough to where we can actually say, hey, that's a Bigfoot, but they've never seen like a giant, what could possibly be a blurry giant 8-foot hairy like ape man sitting on a picnic table or on a park bench or in the middle of the road or like behind a abandoned building, like how do these things not exist? How do they not exist? And I'm not talking like you would get like you would definitively see a giant hairy man sitting on a park bench, but like you're so far away and it's dark out that you're just like, hey, well, why are you filming anyway? First of all, I'll get to that in a minute. I didn't get that out on Twitter. But you know, you're out and about. You're just filming stuff. You're making a creepy video, and you look over and there's a giant hairy 8 foot, like what you think looks like a Bigfoot sitting on a park bench. Why does that not exist? I don't know. Second thing that I just mentioned, the people who get Bigfoot footage, unless you're out there looking for one, why are you filming? Like, if you're out in the woods, why are you filming? Do you know how many times I've taken countless walks through the woods around here? Do you know how many times I've taken my phone out to video and record myself walking? None. Zero. So the people who are filming, you must clearly be looking for Bigfoot, because otherwise, why are you filming? I don't understand that. Like, who just randomly films themselves walking through the woods? It just doesn't make sense. Oh, God, I'm getting more heated on here than I did on Twitter. So yeah, 5 theories as to what is Bigfoot. I'm gonna give you 5. I didn't even, you know what? On Twitter, I didn't even mention the reasons what I thought, like whether or not I think they're all possibilities, because they're all possibilities. So I'm not even gonna give you my opinion. Number 1, Bigfoot exists, and he is in fact a giant 8 foot tall, hairy ape man that we all have seen in videos, that we all depict as such. Case closed, problem solved. Mystery solved. There we go. Problem solved. So, the other thing is perhaps it is a mythical creature, like a fairy, a unicorn, a dragon, maybe a wendigo. Bigfoot could be a mythical creature. But if that's the case, then it doesn't really explain the footage that people claim to see, because we don't have, I mean, people don't go out looking for unicorns. At least I don't think they do. I don't know anyone that's looked for unicorns, or dragons or anything like that. But, perhaps Bigfoot is in fact a mythical creature. Number 3, Bigfoot is just your neighbor down the street who went with his buddy one day into the woods, told his buddy to wear an ape suit. Yeah, I think you should wear an ape suit, and we should go into the woods and film it and make people think that Bigfoot exists. To me, that's like one of the most, I think that's a huge factor. I don't think people consider it as much as they should. Because let's put it this way, if there's enough people out there, if there's enough stupid people out there actually looking for Bigfoot, there's as many of those stupid people that are also dressing one of their buddies up in an ape suit and going out of the woods to make people think that he does exist. Sorry, Bigfoot, go-getters, but that's a possibility. We're on to you. Number 4. The creature that we know as Bigfoot no longer exists. He's extinct. Again, I butchered that word on Twitter. I don't know why I can't say it today. But yeah, he no longer exists. Therefore, he no longer exists, or so we thought. So maybe, just maybe, the species itself of Bigfoot we thought didn't exist. Hello, boo. And perhaps there's very few left. And the people that get the footage have a very rare video of a creature that we thought didn't exist, but in fact does. But I've never really heard that, so most Bigfoot hunters will just be like, oh, they'll give you this big spiel about how he exists, and that'll be the end of it. But in this case, I think that it no longer exists, or so we thought, and that's, a species that is rarely seen. Last but not least, the fifth reason of what Bigfoot could possibly be explained as: an animal. But Justin, what animal's 8 feet tall? Who says it's 8 feet tall? Most of the time, people, when they film it, they're at a distance. It's dark out, and it could be a bear. It could be there's a lot of animals out there. It could be a raccoon on top of a tree. And the trees, like, I don't know. I wish I could edit that out. That was pretty stupid. If it's not moving, very well, I'm not going to edit that out. It could very well be a raccoon on top of a tree. It could be a bear. It could be so many things. It could be a beaver. It could be a wallaby? What am I thinking of? A wallaby, a werewolf, not a werewolf, Wolverine. Like, a badger, that's what I'm thinking of, a badger. It could be a lot of things. So unexplained. So, again, 5 theories as to what Bigfoot is. Do I personally think Bigfoot exists? I'm not 100% on it. I'd say I'm a little over 50, I won't lie. But at the same time, show me evidence. Show me something besides the same freaking video from 1975. Show me something besides a giant man walking in the woods. Can we just stop with that? I don't know what I'm expecting to see, but I'm not expecting to see the same thing over and over again, because it's getting ridiculous. So yeah, this has been my rambling, random, strange, mystery unsolved video on Bigfoot. Do you think he exists? What are your thoughts on Bigfoot? Stay tuned next week, as I will have another mystery unsolved video on another topic I don't know yet. Until next time.